finally back with the Funeral Portrait. It was one of my favorite interviews I've ever done, so I'm happy to have you back. I think the last interview we started off with conspiracy theories. Do you have any new ones to add?
Oh God. Oh man. I remember that one was that. Yeah, because we got stuck on conspiracy theories and we just went on and on. I remember that. So I think this time I'm just gonna like keep it very like plain and simple as like, you know, aliens exist, and when they're ready to come and zap me up, I know Homer, our drummer, and myself, we've talked about it multiple times. Like, we're ready. Like, you know, if they give us that, you know, the option of just staying or going with them, I think we would just be like, please take us. Like even if it means, you know, death, you know, at least we'll be the ones that they take, you know. So that'd be kind of cool. So we'll leave it at that, because I know last time we just went on this like giant rant. So I think that's probably where we'll stay with it. So
yeah, I think the interview was supposed to end at like the 10-minute mark, and there's an extra 5 minutes just going on about that.
Most likely, knowing us, that's definitely a thing. So
yeah. So we're at kind of an interesting time in the industry, because it's the end of Warped Tour. And being somebody that both is a musician and manages bands, what do you think needs to happen for the industry to be able to move on without having a platform like Warped?
So it's something that I've talked about. So Warped Tour, I started going to Warped Tour when I was like 13 maybe. So that was a while ago. That was like, I think my first Warped Tour was 2003. That was before the Golden Year. The Golden Year was 2004, I believe. And that's the year that Mike, him, and Fall Out Boy played. And I think Avenged was on it too. And Atreyu and like All American Reject. It was just like this just massive year. I think Motion City Soundtrack was like massive at the same time. Like every band that was on it was just blowing up. And so like I just remember you know, going back in the day, and it was just when MTV was covering Warped Tour, when there was like Warped Wednesdays on Fuse and like stuff like that. So yeah, exactly. Oh yes, exactly. And like, you know, and like everybody would wait around for the AP magazine that had like who's the cover stars, you know, like all this cool stuff. And over the years, it just bands started wanting more money. When I believe I read an article just recently where it was just about like how Mike, him, and Fall Out Boy were getting paid like $1,500 a day, like $1,500 a day, and that's like nothing compared to like what they were worth, you know. So I think it's just one of those things that I think a lot of bands just started becoming not greedy, because making money is it's very important, because you got families, you got these things that you got to take care of.
And I would want that much money if I was having to play in that heat.
Exactly. Especially, you know, you have bands like Motionless or Gerard, you know, from My Chem, and like these bands that, or even Guar, you know, they dress up and they're in this fucking heat, you know, and it's just like with me, you know, I'd definitely have my jacket on. I'd be dying, but you know, it just comes with the territory. But for me, it was always a dream for us to play Warped Tour, and it just never happened. But it's kind of one of those things that I'm just like, you know, one door closes, another door opens, and I think the same thing for Warped Tour. I think this gives room for two things. One, maybe another touring festival as itself to come about, maybe smaller, you know what I mean, not 40 different bands or whatever, you know, it may be at the time, but also, it gives smaller bands a chance to tour in the summer. Because like with us, like we've always toured in the summer where we're up against Warped Tour. Where either we'll try and start at the other side of the country when they're on the other side of the country. Like where this one, like the last 2 days, unfortunately, all the other days do not like fight. But the last 2 days of this tour that we're on right now have been like fighting against Warped Tour. But if there was no more Warped Tour, it wouldn't be an issue. Everybody could tour year round. It wouldn't be a huge deal.
Yeah, I think that if festivals got down to being more like Rock on the Range type of stuff, and only that kind of stuff.
I believe, from everything that I've heard from people talking about it, is they're going to take like a year off, so that way Kevin Lyman can just actually retire for a year, you know what I mean? Like he could just take a full year off, which I know, like I've met him a few times, and just you can tell it's just like it's just made him like, you know, and that's stressful because it's hard, because when it's your baby, it's like your band, you know, my band, like it's hard for me to like let go of the reins a little bit, because it's your baby. It becomes this thing that is just yours, you know. So I think him taking a year off will be good, and then they are going to switch over to maybe doing like 3 or 4 different dates, like self-help, if you know, like self-help. So
they really made a point to make sure they said it was the last cross country.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And which is good because the branding, the branding of Warped Tour is super awesome. The bands that they bring out, yeah, okay, maybe the older crowd doesn't really listen to them, but it's okay. Warped Tour, I don't know. It's hard because I always get super defensive about Warped Tour because it means so much to me. But it's always one of those things that it's like, it started out for young people, so it just evolves. So, in the MySpace era when they had Millionaires and Blood on the Dance Floor and like, Broken Side and stuff like that, it's like, it's one of those things that it's like, it just changes, but back in the day when it first started, it had like No Effects, and it had, Bad Religion and Real Big Fish and Less Than Jake, which some of those bands still play select dates, but
Simple play.
Exactly, which is cool. Like, and I'm glad that this year they're bringing those bands back, but I think, like their slogan, warped forever kind of thing. I think it is. And I think it's a more of a mindset. And I think it will carry on to the festivals, which I think will, again, let smaller bands be able to tour in the summer, which is impossible. It is very, very hard if you're not on Warped Tour to tour during the summer. Unless you're like a super heavy band, you know what I mean, where the markets don't cross. But if your markets cross and you're relying on those warped kids, like that's a hard thing to do. So I'm actually really excited, and maybe hopefully the Funeral Portrait will get to play a festival date of Warped Tour. I'm sure we will. It's just been one of those things, like our scheduling with their scheduling, and then like, some years they take a lot of small bands and then some years they don't. Like this year, like literally like so many small bands. And then when like we got the email about, oh, hey, you guys want to play? And then it was like, oh, wait a second, we already confirmed a tour. So it was like, do the whole tour. Like you do the whole, like our tour that we're on right now, If I Set My Friends on Fire, or, do like a date of Warped Tour. I as much as that's like my dream, it's just, I couldn't turn it down for doing a killer tour like we're doing. So.
Yeah, I know this tour is going to take you up to Canada. Is that going to be your first time in Canada?
Yes, I'm like really excited. Canada, it's been, for us, even though it's like, it's technically like not, like, I guess it is another country, but like, it's just like, oh, that's like our neighbors. Yeah. So for us, it's like not that huge of a deal for some people, but for me, it's a huge deal because I get to take, like, music is literally bringing me to another country. Like, that's wild to me, and I'm so grateful for I Set My Friends on Fire to give us this opportunity, and their agent and their manager, and then our hardworking team that landed that too. And it's something that, because of course, like, we could probably have done it by ourselves, like a headliner, but I don't know. Besides like Quebec, I really don't know if like anybody will come. But for some weird reason, like we have these we have like a bunch of fans in like Quebec or like the French speaking parts, because we have that song Casanova that has C'est la vie, which is French. And for some weird reasons, like on Spotify, like literally like Quebec City is like our second most listened city, and then like France is like our third, and it's literally just because of that song. And I just think it's so funny because like there's been some fans on this tour that were from Quebec City, and they were like, oh, we're gonna see you in Quebec as well. C'est la vie, it's French. I was like, yes, it is. Oh my god, it just was such a cool experience. So
yeah. Now, throughout the history of doing interviews here, some of the most interesting stories we do get is from when bands have to cross the border.
Oh god.
Do you have any concerns about that?
No, not actually. Not really, because like we're very like, I don't know, like we do live, some of us live the rock and roll lifestyle, as in, like people like to smoke and they like to drink, but like with us though, like this is like a business as well. So we're like, we can't just, oh, we're just gonna try and sneak over all this stuff and stuff like that. It's just not worth it. So with us, like none of us like have DUIs or stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like we're all very smart dudes when it comes to that stuff. Yeah, like people like to hang out and like have a good time, but that doesn't mean that you have to act stupid. Like we're very like, I don't know, we're kind of. We just keep in our like little circle, and we just like have fun. So it's like we'll be totally fine, like crossing the border. It's just it's kind of nerve wracking because once you're over there, that's a whole nother country. You know what I mean? Like it won't maybe seem like it scenically really, because like we've played so much in like the north anyways, that like going right over, it's not going to be a huge deal. But, you know, of course, with the laws and just different things, it changes. But I'm just excited to just go and like, I'm also really excited to try like different food and different snacks. Yes. Well, of course, like poutine and like all the other stuff. Like, but like, my favorite thing is literally like, what is it like? So they brought them here in America, but it's called like all dressed chips, and it's like a mixture of like, barbecue and like Cajun kind of, and it's like so good, and it's like on the bag it says like #1 chip of Canada, and I'm like, okay, like this is cool. So I try. Yeah, I don't know, but it's like really good. I might be having it wrong. It's like a little bit of like ketchup too. I don't know, but it's like really good. So I'm excited for the snacks.
That does remind me though of back when I used to do shows up at the garage in Minneapolis.
Oh yeah.
I would always tell bands, you guys know the police station is literally across the street, and I would just see the color drain out of their faces.
Oh yes, we played there a few times, and I remember all that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, you are a self-proclaimed tour dad. What is the worst situation you've had to take care of as a tour dad?
Not with just what is it? Okay, I think we just hit the 1 year mark. So, early of 2017, all old 4 members of my band decided to like leave us and not do it anymore. So the interview that we did with you was with, I think, AJ and myself, and AJ actually left the band right after that tour. All of them left, and it was one of those things that I was like, but it was like a really mixed, I had such a hard time coming to the realization of these guys that I've been around for 4 years, you know, not as the Funeral Portrait, but we were called Cosmoscope before that as a local band, and with them leaving, and the only real reason why they wanted to leave is because they needed to focus on their own lives. You know, they are going back to school, they have jobs, some of them are playing music, but not like seriously. And for me, I just had to continue, and they were just like, they wanted me to continue. They were totally cool with it. It's fine. So I can't like complain or anything. And now I have new members who want it even more, you know, so I can't really complain about that. So I'm trying to think with this lineup, it's just like sometimes like, I don't know. I think, you know, we just, you know, I'll want to leave because I want to go to sleep because I have to get my sleep. Because if I don't get my sleep, my voice gets like really messed up. And if my voice gets messed up, then everyone's in trouble. So I just liked my sleep. So I like to like leave on time. But also like Rob, our new bass player, he's like a tour manager for a few like bigger bands, and he tours with these bands, and he's like their band dad, you know. So it's nice having people in our band that are all kind of band dads now, you know, like, you know, all right, it's you know, midnight, let's leave, you know, when like the old TFP, you know, they would be out until 2 a.m. and I'd just be like, oh my God, because I don't smoke, I don't drink, you know, I still hang out though, you know, I don't like shun people for like doing stuff like that. So it's like, so for me, like, I just like my sleep. So as long as they let me sleep, then everything is fine, and they know that, you know. And just because I don't want my voice to be messed up. So
I remember one time I saw an interview with Johannes from Avatar where he was like, "The hardest thing I do on on tour is tea." Oh yeah, yes. No, it's a good mindset to have, though.
Yeah, no. So like, I think my addiction comes in a form of like sugar, and everybody knows that already. Like, I love candy, I love slushies, I love sweet tea. I don't drink coffee, but I will literally drink sugar to like wake me up instead. Like Monster Energy, like energy drinks are like great, and like Monster's great too. But honestly, it's not even the caffeine. I don't even think caffeine actually affects me. I think it's literally the sugar. Like, I can just, as long as I'm drinking that sugar or eating that sugar, life is great. So
I know how that goes. I got to the point that I could memorize what price Lifesaver gummies were in every region of the U.S. Jesus. All right. Well, you guys, right before you went out this tour, you were in the studio for a little while. Can you tell me anything about that?
Yeah, actually. So just recently we we left the label that we were on, which it just was that time that we just hit this like plateau with both of us hit this plateau where we needed to grow bigger, and they're trying to take their label into another direction with different sound, kind of, some bands. So it was just one of those things that it just came to that. TFP honestly is a new band now with new members and a new sound. Like all these new songs that we've been working on are different. It's completely different. Literally, we have a song. We're not playing it on this tour because it's literally like a country song. Like, I'm not joking with you. We're here in Nashville, so I guess you could get it a little bit, but like, it's just like, I'm being like serious. It should be like an opening to like a Netflix series. It's just like, that's like the easiest way. So but it has like a country vibe to it, and every song has a different vibe to it. Like we have like a super, super punk song that we are playing on this tour. Then we have, a song that sounds like The Crash, which was a song that we released late last year with all the new members. And it's something that we're just trying to do something different, and I think in our EP to our record, and then now to whatever this next thing is, even if it's just singles that we're just going to release, or if it's just a record, or if it's an EP, whatever it actually turns into be, everything's going to be different. You're going to listen to one song and you'll be like, oh, that song's awesome. It's super punky. Then you'll listen to the next song and be like, that's like a country song. What in the, and then the third song will be like, it's like on like Alt Nation on Sirius XM, like we're just trying to do everything that just makes us happy as a band, everything that we like to listen to, and I think it will always be TFP. A lot of people just say I have this like I have a voice that you hear it and you're like, oh, that's Lee singing, so as long as I sing it, they're like, it's TFP, so you're okay. So that's why I was nervous in the studio, because I was like, oh my god, we just wrote this like country ballad song, I don't even know. We have like a choir singing in the background, like it's like crazy, and I'm like, this is just so not TFP, this is so not TFP. And then I'm like, we just all just like, what is TFP? And it's like, what is the funeral portrait? It's just like whatever we want to make it, and as long as it's telling some sort of story, because that's like at the end of the day like what everything's about, then everything will be okay. So we're really excited to see how it kind of continues. So far, to answer your question, we have about 8 songs done. I want to have probably like 8 more before we like actually be like, okay, is this a record? Is this an EP? Like, are we just going to trash half of these? Like, are we just going to release them all? Like, so we can also now being on our own, doing things ourselves, we can kind of do whatever we want. So like, even I don't know when this is going to be posted, but literally like we have a new song that we're going to release. It's like the super punky one that I was talking about, literally on like, what is that? Not this Friday, but next Friday. So like the 27th, whenever that is. So we're going to release a brand new song, and we can do it just because we want to. And that's like part of it too, is like we do things our way. And I think that's something that a lot of the industry, everything has to be like, okay, on this date and this date and this date, we drop this. Like with us, we just like to play shows, and just like the music's like the music, we have to be a band, so we have to write cool music to do the touring, because to us, the band, like the funeral portrait, is the show, because like we're very theatrical, we're very big, larger than life, and that's like part of the bigger picture. Is the songs, of course, will come up once the show is met, and so we're trying to do that finally, is write these bigger, larger than life songs. So we'll see how it goes. So I'm excited.
Almost done.
No, you're good. I like talking, so like we could do this for like 7 hours. Like I've really and truly, like I've wanted to start like a podcast where I just get to talk and just talk and talk. But because I really like to talk, as you can tell. All right.
I wish we could do a podcast, but I'm not close enough to people. I guess you do live in Georgia. So.
Yeah, but also like you could do something like how like the lead singer syndrome. Have you ever watched that or listened to that? It's like, so it's this guy Shane Told, I think is his last name. I can never remember last names. I'm terrible, but he's the singer from Silverstein, and he started this thing called the oh my god, lead singer syndrome. And it's super cool because it's literally a lead singer interviewing another lead singer, and they just talk, and they just like talk back and forth, you know, and he'll bring up his, like, I remember when I saw you guys on Warped Tour when I was, you know, 15, you know, when Warped Tour started, blah, 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 you know, and then they'll start talking. Or like, and he interviewed, like, just recently he talked with, Anthony Green from Circus Survive, and it was such like an eye-opening experience because they like talked about his like drug addiction, like, and all this like crazy stuff, and like it's just wild because it's like literally just two singers and they just talk on the phone, you know, they just literally just Skype each other. So, which I've thought about doing, but like more on like the local band, like smaller bands, just like because like of course I can't just call Anthony Green and be like, hey, you want to talk to me, you know, so.
Well, you mentioned earlier before, and I wanted to touch on this too, that you are one of those bands that you aim to be a storytelling band. To you, what is the most important story you've told so far?
Each record or each EP, each song kind of has this like vibe to it. And for our first like EP that we did, it was about the 5 stages of loss and grief. I had just gone through like a really bad like breakup. The breakup was my girlfriend at the time, she was so intertwined with the band as well. She like sang on songs like as our like local band, as like a backup vocalist, like all these just like stuff. And it just was so messy for everyone because everybody's like girlfriends was like involved with her, and it just was one of those kind of things, you know? So for us, like we just decided to like kind of write about, you know, the loss of like a relationship / a death, you know? So, and it kind of, for us, I think that EP was just something that needed to kind of happen, and every song had a feeling to it. So there was anger, and there was like depression, and there, you know, and so, and then Casanova, C'est la vie, like that song was literally like what happened. That was the incident. That's what we called like the incident. So that was like such a fun thing to do. And then, you know, when we moved on to the record, it was about what's like afterlife. You know, what is afterlife? Is it, you know, floating through space? Is there a heaven? Is there a hell? You know, is it just pitch black? You know, so every song kind of had this different vibe to it to answer that question or ask that question. And then now with the new stuff, and then we wrote a song called Meanwhile, and that was literally just because we like love this TV show called Twin Peaks. I'm literally wearing a Twin Peaks shirt right now, literally. And so like we like, especially the old band members and I love that show. And so we were just like, let's just write a song called Meanwhile and write it literally about Twin Peaks. And that's what we did.
The new Twin Peaks or the old one?
So it was about the old one because the new one wasn't out yet. So, yeah, so it just, and now, I'm pretty sure I have what this new stuff's kind of going to be about. It's honestly just about losing yourself. So like one song is like, I think that the deepest song that I have, even though I have, I guess, an idea that is deeper, the most deepest is losing yourself in depression. It's something that I've dealt with for so long, especially after very like traumatic or very hard times in my life, you know. And I have such a supportive like family and a very close, especially now with my new band members, such a close group of band members. But I literally went right into the studio after a very, 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 very hard breakup. I was with this girl for 4 years, and it was just, we were like best friends, you know how that stuff goes. And so for me, I needed, literally 2 days after the breakup, like I went to the studio and I started writing, and we wrote 5 songs, and literally I got to write about not just the breakup, because that was something that I wanted to kind of avoid, but I wanted to write about losing yourself in a relationship, losing yourself in depression, losing yourself, even something heavier with suicide, losing yourself with suicide. I've lost a friend to suicide, and then my ex lost her best friend to suicide. So it just made such a huge, heavy impact in our lives, and my life especially. And so it was, so I decided to write a song about it, even though I don't no longer talk to these people that were in my life before in that relationship. It still is these people have such an impact on you that you decide to write these songs. And they're not hate songs. I would never write a hate song of oh, screw you, because that's not like a breakup to me. Like the breakup needed to happen. It's just like my old band members, that breakup needed to happen. And I think a lot of people, they don't look at relationships that way, especially in a breakup. I think they look at it as, screw you, you ruined my life, oh God, but honestly, like, you're breaking up for a reason, so either or, like, even if you don't want to be broken up with, or if you don't want to lose your best friend, there's a reason for it. So let that reason happen. You don't want to ever force anyone to do something that they don't want to do. And so why stick around for it? Why not be in a relationship with someone? Or you don't even have to be in a relationship, but like, why be with someone that doesn't truly care, or truly their whole heart's not there? So let them do them, and I think that was a tough song to write. That song we've been playing a lot on this. We've been playing it. We played it on the last tour that we did. That was just like a short tour, and then now this one, and it's called Angel Wings, and that's like a super, like, I don't know, it's pretty emotional. I've been seemed to get pretty emotional with that one, and because I can also connect it with losing a lot of my best friends with my old band members and stuff like that. And it just, sometimes I think I personally take things a little too personally when I should look at it on a different spectrum. So that's why I wrote a song to try and look at it on a different spectrum. So every song on this new record or EP will be about losing yourself in something. I have like a bunch of other ideas, but we'll see what forms. So I'm excited. So I just rambled like for an hour. So here we go.
It's okay. It was 7 minutes.
Okay. I could do better. I could do like 10. Okay.
Okay, true. Well, that was a heavy question. I feel like we need like a lighter one to end it on.
Okay, yeah. I can do both. So I'm very emotional, but I'm also like super into like kawaii things. So I can be like, I'm like super emo, but super like kawaii. So it's like,
I saw one of the new members of your band has a hedgehog.
Oh, yes. Oh, Cody. So Cody, our new guitar player, he has a hedgehog. His name's Greg. He is so funny. He just poops everywhere, though. Literally, like, I was hanging out. So this tour, like, we started in Rochester. So I got to, like, go, because half of our band lives in Rochester. Half of them live in Atlanta. So we like went all the way up there, and like I was staying with Cody for a few days, and literally his hedgehog pooped everywhere. Like everywhere, just he would leave him on the bed, he'd poop, leave him in your hand, he poops, leave him on the floor, he poops, in our shirts, like he was like rolling around in our like bin of shirts, and he literally pooped on one of the shirts. I had to like throw it through the washer. So if you get that cool special shirt that looks like it's been washed, it was a Greg shirt. So
it's been cool.
It has been. It should be worth more. So yeah, so like he does have a hedgehog. So yeah, and I have the pets. We all have like pets, I guess. Yeah, I've got Bandit. He's a Pomeranian. He's like the coolest dog ever. So
I'll be sure to edit in a picture somewhere.
Oh yes, yeah, a picture here. He's fitting in my hand, maybe. I don't know, but he's super cute. He goes with everywhere with me except for on tour because it's just too hot. So if it was maybe fall time, I'd bring him out, but it's just too hot. So
if you could ever have like a really absurd animal, what would you?
A llama or alpaca. I can't pick. Oh no, I'm not even joking. I just want an alpaca so bad. I don't know. They're so cute. They're just so cute, so fluffy. I don't care. I'll deal with the spit. I just like them. I also like foxes. Having a fox is cute. Oh, I think someone's trying to get in here. Let's see. Is it not? Oh, hi. It's so fine. Hey, Rob, come here. Say hi. This is Rob. Yeah. Hi, Rob.
Hey, what's up? I'm Rob. I play bass for the Funeral Portrait. I'm taking over now.
Okay, cool.
Hey,
That's
what's
fine.
up?
Yeah. We were talking about.
Ask the questions then.
Yeah.
Okay, so your favorite color is obviously green, but why?
You're asking me the
Yeah, we
question.
are. Come on.
Oh, okay.
Come on. Yeah, we're gonna ask you the questions.
Yeah.
No, okay, you can ask me the question. Okay.
What is your fondest memory of me? Okay.
Fondest memory of you. That's actually a really good one. Because there's a lot, because you've done a lot for me. I think, yes, that way too, but I think there was just like a really bad time when things just were like not doing so well, not with the band, but in my personal life, and just having you there, like living in Atlanta, not in Rochester, was the coolest thing ever, because everyone else was like abandoning me or like just like not wanting to like do music anymore or stuff, and just having you just being like, dude, we're just gonna do this, like we're gonna just let me play bass for your band. And I was like, wait, but like, yeah, he lives in my house, in my bedroom. He literally doesn't even have his own bedroom. So let me ask you a question then. What is your fondest memory of me?
Late night kitchen talks.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I know what you mean. Because, like, so his old band, Vanity Strikes, and The Funeral Portrait used to tour together a lot. And so whenever we would have, like, Atlanta shows or, like, a day off or something, they would stay over at my house. And we'd literally stay up until 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning in my kitchen and just talking. I think that's, like, a common thing, though, because I've heard it with a lot of bands. Like, not just, like, bands that I bring over to my house, but, like, like what is it, JT? I think JT from Hawthorne Heights, like he was at my house like chilling, and he was like, dude, it's like 5 o'clock in the morning. He was like, last time I did this, like it was like 10 years ago. That was like the thing to do, is hang out in people's kitchen and just talk. So
It's good times.
yeah.
I'll let you go back to your interview though. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine, Rob. That was cool. Don't forget your beer.
Oh yeah, beer.
The most important part.
Yes.
That's probably a good place to end it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do you have any last words?
If I die tonight, just make sure Bandit's taken care of. You guys can sell the van. You can sell. Please bury me with all my Pokemon stuff. I know there's a lot there, so you gotta have the big coffin. But especially with that giant Snorlax that I just bought, it's like freaking massive. But make sure Bandit's taken care of. Make sure he gets enough food. He gets 1 cup a day, 1 spoon cup a day. So
Greg.
yeah, he could go live with Greg in Rochester. No, my mom would die. Like my mom, like that is my mom and my grandparents. They love that dog just as much as I do. So it's great. So I get to see him tomorrow. So I'm really excited. So, but no, for real, thank you guys for watching this. I know I ramble so much, but I love it. So, cause I don't know, I don't get to talk too much. So it's cute. So, we have a new song coming out. I don't know when it's posted. If it's out, it's out. It's called Flowers in the Attic. If it's not out, it's not out. But it's going to be out very soon. So, and we're touring all the time. So we'll see you there.
You're never not touring.
Exactly. I live on the tours.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm so sick and tired of always hearing the same lie.